So it's time to start stripping this one down for bits that I need. I've obviously had the wheels off. This one has also got a snap spring on this side, but the other one on the other side is good. So I'll have that off. So first things first, I'm going to undo the shock mounts both sides, undo the shaft bolt, and lower all that out and try and pull the shafts out and the springs out. So when the subframe comes down, because I'm going to take the whole subframe out this time, we should be able to remove the engine and gearbox off it without mucking about with shafts. So I'll get all that undone now. All right, so there we go. Shafts are out, springs are out, both sides. I have put the shocks back on so the beam isn't flapping about when we take it down. So now we can pop these clips off, pull the skirt open and undo the two bolts that are there and get this whole rear end off like we did in the previous diesel video. But yeah, just going to pop these clips out, and then the skirt pulls away just enough to undo the two that are in there. We have one there, we have one there, we have two up inside the boot lid, and we also need to take this boot lid off as well. So I will get on with that now. Right, well now the back end's off, which is over there, we can start on removing the subframe. I've took the boot lid off as well because it just gives us loads of room. So, what do we start with first? Let me show you. Right, first off, we've got to take this interior panel out. I've no idea how, but I'm guessing there's a screw behind here, and then we'll just give it a tug and see what happens. T25. And then we've got to unplug the ECU, but what I'll do, I want to take it out as well, so it's with the engine. Next we've got to get the seat out, which is 4 times T45. $15mm nut on the back of that. Right, under here, oh, it's 20p there. It's another ECU. It's got to unplug that and then pull the cables through under there. So I'll do that now. Obviously I won't be able to film it while I do it, but trust me, I'm doing it. Under here is where the loom goes. You pop the bung out and obviously I've just pushed all the loom through. So that is what we need to do inside. Next is unplug the lambda sensor. I don't know how. Must be that clip there, I reckon. There you go, like that. Next is the wheel arch liners, 10 mils. Now to do the other side. Right, on the driver's side, you can now reach up, undo that earth, and then you can pull the wiring loom out from inside that we undone earlier. There you go, so 10 mil undoes that, and then you can pull that off and pull this through. So that's that disconnected now. Right, next I'm under the passenger side, and I've undone this 10 mil here, which holds all the brake lines and the ABS sensors. So I'm now going to disconnect the plugs and the lines and pull this out, so then all the brakes are disconnected from the car. All we've got to worry about is the handbrake, but we'll get to that in a minute. Right, next one is the starter motor cable, if you've got a starter motor, because obviously some of these have an alternator starter motor, but make sure you've disconnected the battery first, obviously. Right, as you can see, I've got the forklift and a pallet underneath it. I've loosened all the, the 4 subframe bolts, which are an E18 Torx drive. Obviously got the pallet truck there to support it. Now I'm going to undo all the 4 bolts and let it sit on that pallet, and then I'm going to start lowering it down and undo bits that I couldn't get to. I will tell you what they are, but when I get to them. But there's fuel pipes, I couldn't quite reach through. The brake vacuum, I couldn't quite reach through. Alternator wiring, I couldn't get to. I think you've even got to drop the engine to change the alternator, I believe. So anyway, this is a learning curve, so we'll see how we go. Right, I'm just going to have a quick look round and see what's loose, or see what he's doing, and I'll come back and tell you. Right, so now we've got a bit of gap between the two. We can see what's still connected. So we've got aircon lines, we've got coolant lines. The handbrake has come out, so that's obviously a pushing connector. It looks like it. We'll have to check that when we go back together, so we can tell how to rebuild them if we need to. So instead of obviously opening the aircon lines, because I don't know if there's any gas in it, I'm going to whip off the compressor. Obviously take the belt off and whip off the compressor so it's free and just hanging with the car. So I'll get that done first. Right, undone the aircon compressor so as not to let the gas out. So that can just hang because that's now above the subframe. We've got the 2 fuel pipes. One is clipped here, so you just got to pinch the clips and pull it off. And again, that one's on hose clips there. And then you've got the matrix pipes over there. I think you can get to them with clamps there, or you can undo them ones there. I'm going to try and go for these ones and see if I can get them clear. That loom over there is still clipped on there, but it's only just on a threaded bolt, so we can just pull that off. And then, yeah, coolant and matrix hoses. Oh, and there's the brake booster over there as well, and the alternator live, which I need to get off now. And there we go. I ended up taking the water pipes off there in the end because I could just get to them a lot easier. Then we've got this brake booster pipe, which you squeeze the 2 clips together and pull that off. So that's there. And last is this wire off the back of the alternator, and then we are clear. And there we have it. It is out. Didn't take too long, really. Nice and simple. Obviously, if it was all going back in, you'd have to take a lot more time and care probably, but really, I didn't really have to worry too much. The only thing I did cut was the fuel pipes. I showed you earlier how to take them off, but I don't need to worry about that, so I just cut them. But obviously, if you're putting this back in a car, or putting an engine back in a car, you don't want to cut things like that, but it didn't matter to me. Right, so now this is here. I need to lift the engine and gearbox off because the subframe is sold. Right, so we had to take a slightly different tact with this. As opposed to lifting the engine out of the subframe, we actually had to take the engine mounts off and lift the subframe over the engine. So that just shows that an engine will actually just drop out once you've undone everything. But anyway, it's apart. So I think I'll call this an end here to this for now. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you very soon in another video.